Peace and love, everybody. But I'm invisible today for some reason. The cameras aren't working. So here we go. Will strictly be audio today. I hope you can hear me. Let me know in the chat if you can. That'd be great. Yes, so camera's working in Zoom, camera's working on my camera, my special camera checker, but not working in studio today in YouTube. Oh well. So here, by request. Oh, great. I'm glad you hear me. Thank you very much. And good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. So, this is by request how to practice centering prayer. Someone wrote to me this week and said, how do you do this? So, this is a kind of a review. And in his book, Contemplative Prayer, the monk Thomas Merton wrote, monastic prayer begins not so much with considerations as with a return to the heart, finding one's deepest center, awakening the profound depths of our being and the presence of God. And I know the word God is hard for some people. Ignore all of the patriarchal bravosier that goes along with it. It's just a shorthand. So, centering prayer is a form of Christian contemplative prayer that centers awareness on the presence of Source. This modern movement in Christianity was initiated by three Trappist monks at St. Joseph's Abbey in Spencer, Massachusetts in the 1970s: Father William Menninger, Father Basil Pemington, and Abbot Thomas Keating, in response to the growing popularity of Asian meditation methods. So, centering prayer is a method of meditation that encourages deepening one's relationship with the beloved. It's rooted in the contemplative prayer traditions found within and outside of Christianity, drawing from ancient and modern sources to foster a practice that's both spiritual and practical. So here's a little bit of the overview of the history and the method. Uh, That has early Christian origins. Centering prayer has its roots in early Christian contemplative traditions, particularly in the practices and teachings found in the works, and we've talked about these: the Cloud of Unknowing, which is a 14th century mystical text; St. Teresa of Avila, and some of you are reading around her right now; St. John of the Cross, John Cassian, and the Theravada Buddhists, Sharon Salzberg, Jack Kornfield, and Joseph Goldstein of the Insight Meditation Society in Barre, Massachusetts. This tradition emphasizes the importance of silence, stillness, and letting go of thoughts and distractions to commune with the ineffable. The centering prayer movement began in the 1970s, and it was led by these three monks that I mentioned: Keating, Mettinger, and Basil Pemington, at St. Joseph's Abbey in Spencer, Massachusetts. And they sought to revive the contemplative traditions of Christianity and make them accessible to the people in the contemporary world. I began my practice in 1977 when my religion teacher at my Massachusetts Catholic boys' school went on a retreat at St. Joseph's Abbey and taught it to my senior class. Now, Father Thomas Keating, in particular, he's often credited with formalizing centering prayer, became rather well known and famous for this method as it's known today. So he aimed to develop a spiritual practice grounded in mystical tradition, yet adaptable to the needs and challenges of modern life. So here are 7 simple steps for practicing centering prayer, with a nod to Father Basil Pemington. Sit comfortably with your eyes closed, relax, and quiet yourself. Be in love and faith to the beloved. Choose a sacred word or phrase that best supports your sincere intention to be in the presence of the divine and open to divine action within you. Let that word or phrase be gently present as the symbol of your sincere intention to be in the sacred presence and open action of the divine inside of you. So it's about intention, it's about repetition, it's about love. And return to your sacred word, your anchor, whenever you become aware of anything: thoughts, feelings, perceptions, images, associations in your mind. And after 20 or 30 minutes, we usually practice 20 minutes here, gradually return to your surroundings. Now, this prayer, it might involve, well, phrases from your youth, prayers that you're used to, or something else that has unrelated to your spiritual upbringing. It could be Om, for instance. And it's taking breaths in ritualized practice with in conjunction with the chanting of the word inside yourself. We'll cover that a little bit more in a minute or two. So, one of the ways that helps is if you create a ritual practice for yourself, and it makes it easier. Practicing at the same time, in the same space, in the same way every day gets a person into the habit of it. Then you'll discover that the ritual of it aids the dedication needed to practice regularly. Centering prayer, it's not just a practice for a set time, but something that also extends into daily life. It doesn't just happen when you're practicing it. It changes the state of your awareness of spirituality and your receptivity to the presence of the divine living and moving in your daily life. It brings the peace that you feel while you practice into your living. We've talked about this a whole bunch. In centering prayer, it emphasizes the importance of regular practice, dedication to the practice. And although a single session in the morning, which is what I tend to practice, um, helps. Sometimes, if you're willing to, a couple of sessions a day, well, it'll speed your practice along if you practice in the morning and the afternoon, for instance. Now, over time, this practice aims to deepen the relationship with Source, transforming the self so that it aligns more closely with the divine love and will. In this study by Dr. Andrew Newberg, who I've mentioned sometime in the past here, he's a research scientist, a neurotheologian, I think is what he calls himself. In one of his studies, he explained that regular practice of centering prayer tends to result in very permanent changes in the way in which the brain works because the brain gets rewired. It becomes a physical thing. It helps your brain rewires in such a way that it makes it easier as you go along. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Now, regular practice, when one is facing terminal illness, reduces stress and anxiety. And if you have a problem, a big problem in your life, and you want to be less anxious, this will definitely help. I was talking to a couple yesterday, and they have a terminal illness in their relationship. And when they get anxious about it, they meditate, and it brings them back to their centering place. And also, when we practice this together, we not only ritualize our own daily practice, which makes dedication easier, but we share the Shakti, the chi, the prana, the divine energy, which is us and among us, and we share it between us, which enhances our individual practice. That's why we practice together. It's just as Jesus said, where two or three are gathered, the I am is there. In regard to anxiety and stress and terminal illness, it is, and I've been repeating this a little bit too, it is, as the Maine lobsterman said to me, the worst time to learn to swim is when your boat is going down. If your boat's going down, it's a little late to learn to swim. So it's good to have a meditation practice before you really need it so that it's already available to you when you do. So thanks for listening in this morning and not seeing because oh, you can hears and sees. That's great. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. The camera's not working today. Don't know why that is. So be it. I've set the alarm for 8:30. We're going to get a little more time in this morning. I have to clear my throat here. I'm going to shut my mic off for a second. There we go. Um, so I'm going to lead you in a little bit today. We're not going to do any ohms today, just because I want this to be more about centering prayer practice. And somebody complained to me the other day, and rightly so, that my mic was too close to my mouth when I was meditating, and my breath was too loud. It was a little distracting, so I pushed my mic away a little bit. I appreciate the critiques. It helps me help you. All right, so my feet are flat on the floor. I'm sitting in a straight back chair. My back is as erect as I can keep it using as very little muscular support as I possibly can because I don't want to be focusing on my muscles. I want to focus on my breath, but I want to keep my spine straight so that the air flows very easily into my diaphragm, into my belly. It's good to do this on an empty stomach. I inflate my belly, breathing in through my nose, and then hold for half a beat, and then release, riding my breath up for beginners right out my nose. Pause. Inhale. I let my lungs fill naturally. I fill my belly, my lungs fill naturally. I don't have to stress them. I try to maintain an adequate level of oxygenation. I don't try to hyperventilate or starve myself of oxygen. I'm very aware of how much air is getting into my lungs, but I don't fill my lungs with intention. I fill my belly. And as I breathe in, I use my chant, my prayer, and I repeat it inside my mind. And I repeat it again as I exhale. And hopefully, what happens along the way is the prayer word falls away, the chant falls away. One is left with following only breath. Listen to your breath, feel your breath. When your mind wanders, don't chase down those thoughts. Don't try to stop them. Just return to your prayer, to your chant. It will get easier the more you practice. Don't get stressed if it's not working. Just keep showing up and keep practicing. It will work. It always does. Even if it takes you a long time to figure it out. As a friend of mine said to me yesterday, he'd been trying for a very long time and finally he understood how it worked. So here we go. See you in, well, I won't see you because I'm no camera, but see you at 8:30. Return to your prayer. Follow your breath. Thanks for being here, everyone. Peace and love. I'll see you again soon.